welcome back for episode 4 of the One Shot Wonders. This is our player creation video. We are going to discuss the guidelines I gave the characters for their character creations, a little bit on how we're setting up this adventure, and then talk to the guys about their specific characters. So, let's get right into it. We're back. With this episode, episode 4, the players are going to be playing level 3 characters. So we're going back down to some of the lower levels, and actually level 3 is where a lot of DMs like to start their campaigns because the characters are a little more hardy, and you get right into those subclasses, but they're not too powerful yet. So, with this episode, this is our first time going to be playing either a neutral or evil adventure. I'm going to leave it up to the guys on how they want to go with their morality on this one, but the style is going to be, or at least how the adventure starts out, is going to give us our tone. So how they're going to start is they were told that they need to make monstrous races, and that those races are going to start, and our adventure is going to pick up right after they got done raiding a human caravan along the forest's edge. When they're raiding that caravan, they're going to find something that is going to have them go and try and steal something from another bad person so that they can then use that stolen thing to get more stolen things. So I don't want to give too much away, but that's the general idea. So they're stealing things from... So this could, I don't know, maybe a Boondock Saints kind of episode. We'll see.
It's very vague.
So, our monstrous races, level 3...
And just so you know, we prefer the term liberate.
Okay. I will keep that in mind.
Sure, Chuck.
That's right. So you're freedom fighters. Are you fighting freedom or... Yeah.
Yeah,
anyway,
we're fighting freedom.
That's right. So, the characters are going to be a little different than what we've done in the past, so let's jump right into it. We did point buy. Each of the characters got a different magic item, and the Xanathar's Guide to Everything for Magic Items kind of gives you a guide, and the first tier is level 1 through 5. And so at level 3, I kind of had to move things around a little bit. I tried to make it fair, because I think last time Beau got shafted on the cool item, so I tried to make sure he was in the...
that was me.
Okay,
Sam
did. I had it written down.
I still had a blast with Blast.
You're like, I know one of them got shafted.
Right.
I do know that.
So I tried to make sure whoever got shafted last time didn't get it this time.
I think the random table we used, even though like I still got like the minimum, I still was able to make a really awesome character from it. So like It didn't really matter in the end.
Yeah. So for this one, it's a little bit more divided up, but let's jump into it. Beau. Let's start with yours. What character did you make?
I'm going to be playing Thoric. He's a half-orc. Initially, with the ideas that we had going into this, I had a kind of idea that I wanted for him, but just when we changed to monster races and things like that, I decided to play a half-orc because in the lore, a lot of times orc tribes, strongholds, they'll bring in women to mate because it seems that half-orcs are, I don't know, they're viewed as more intelligent, stronger than their full orc brethren. So the story on Thoric is that his stronghold was overrun by, I don't know, some force. You'll have to learn that in the next episode. But he was left, the mother that raised him, not his actual mother, because she died during... It's a whole thing. But anyway.
We don't got time to go into that
the whole
today,
point, I don't know. I'm excited to play him. He was left after this. He was found by a group that ended up raising him. He was in jail, and that was when the higher powers above called upon him to be a paladin. And he said, no, that's not for me. And he broke that oath.
Are you saying you got rescued by like 3 monster daddies, and now like you kind of follow them around like their illegitimate son?
No, I was thrown in jail, and then some higher deity late at night called upon me.
Three men and an orc brat.
I'm not sure where the 3 came from, but that
So
is
so
Thoric.
you're a Oathbreaker
Us.
paladin then?
Yes, that is what I. Yes.
All right.
Just skip ahead 30 seconds.
That was so long-winded. Hey, I like
Gosh.
the thought and the depth that went into this character.
I have a good
So,
thought for it. I just did not know how to put it out there.
Put
All
it
right.
into words.
What magic items did you pick, or have you picked that yet?
I have yet to pick that.
Okay. All right. So we will leave that.
Lacking.
All right. So and is it you pronounce it Thoruk?
Thoric. Yeah.
Thoric. Okay. I will probably butcher that a few times.
That's all right.
Let's go to Manny. Tell us about Zrul.
Yeah, Zrul.
Okay.
I'm going to be playing Zrul. He is a barbarian, Path of the Berserker hobgoblin. And his story is a little bit more simpler.
What are you trying to say?
He couldn't really fit in with the other hobgoblins, and he was always a little weaker, so he set off on his own to try to gain his own honor in his own way. And then he met up with these guys here.
Sweet. Have you picked your magic items yet?
I did. I just picked a potion of healing, a potion of fire giant strength. Prepare for that, Aaron.
Okay.
And then
Oh,
an item that he holds dearly. It's a pipe of smoke monsters, and each of the monsters he can make with it each has a different name.
nice! I love that. Oh my
Sweet.
goodness, I love it so much.
Excellent. Let's move on to Chuck. Yixer, whatever.
Yeah, it's spelled Yixer, but he kind of pronounces it Sir, but, whatever. It doesn't
Okay.
matter. He's a satyr. I don't know if you know about satyrs, what
Do
they're
you?
all about, but he's a fey creature, and he's a bit of a stereotype because he does actually play a flute, but he's a druid because he really digs the woods, and he's here in the material plane checking things out, and he's running around trying, poking things with his spear, wheezing the juice, having a good time, and he come across these guys, and they're pretty cool, so he's hanging out with them.
Okay. So kind of I would imagine a lot from the Feywild. You're kind of that neutral morality where you're just, hey, I'm here for the fun.
Yeah, exactly. We're here for the party, baby. Let's do it. And that's it. He's just gonna have a good time.
What kind of druid? What's your sub?
He's a shepherd druid.
Okay. So I need to prepare some summonses, or maybe not yet, actually.
Totems.
Not yet.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
really don't
totems.
have much in the way of summons. He can wild shape, but doesn't really need to wild shape. He's got horns and he could ram people.
Sweet. How about magic items? Have you picked that yet?
No, not really.
Okay.
I mean, the +6 spear, but other than that,
Oh.
Didn't know that was a uncommon item.
it was pretty uncommon. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I know where you live. I know where you live, Chuck. I'll find you, and you'll get a backhand.
No, we haven't picked any magic items yet.
All right. And finally, Sam, tell us about Zarthus.
Correct. Like Arthas with a Czar on the front. But yes, I am playing Zarthus Tutorial. He is a
Very similar to Zarthus Keetril. They're cousins.
Zarthus Keetril. I was like, why is that name?
For those that
familiar?
don't know, our main campaign is set in
Zarzeth
Wildemount.
Keetril, actually.
And
Zarzeth.
yes, Zarzeth Keetril is one of the cities that they just
Chunk,
recently
chunk,
dealt
chunk.
with. So anyway,
So dealt with. It's still standing.
Yeah.
that campaign is somewhat like borderline good or neutral at least, hopefully. Some characters, Beau, are a little iffy at times. But I am playing Zarthus. He is a variant tiefling warlock, Pact of the Fiend. When I was choosing the tiefling, what I really love about the race in general, other than just being like fiendish in nature, is that they have like 10 different sub-races of tieflings now that have been added over like all the books in 5e, so it's like really easy to kind of build it around to be more of the monsters race on the monster side of it, since tieflings generally are in the lore in the background, even like 5e are very frowned upon and like looked down upon society because of their fiendish heritage. I decided to make him more on the fiendish side, having leathery bat wings to fly around with, and like resembling more of that impish nature that people might correlate with like higher demons and whatnot, rather than ones that are more humanoid-like in nature that you can see in the player's handbook. Yeah.
Cool.
His background story is like he's very, because of like his shut off from society and his ostracization. He was very much grew up cold, cunning, calculating, and kind of just looked for a group to kind of like buddy up with. He knew he was never the strongest or the smartest, so he found a group that could provide that muscle, and he could tantalize with his words to kind of sway into certain directions and get into all types of trouble for gold and glory.
Gotcha. And what's your subclass?
My subclass is the Fiend. The Fiend because his... Oh, you're gonna love this. His patron is his demonic...
stepdaddy.
No, it's his demon mother, actually, or DM for short. So, yes. Fierna, actually, to be exact. So she kind of like talks through him for certain things she wants done in the world, and he does his best to listen, but he still has his own goals and stuff to do, because he was like, whatever, demon mom, I don't care. He's very rebellious. It's
As
like that little
demon
hot-headed
children would be.
Yeah, he's also just a dick a little bit.
All right, and how about have you picked your magic items?
Yes, I have. I have a potion of greater healing, as well as handy dandy Rod of the Packkeeper, which is classic for any warlock builds. If ever given the chance to pick a weapon or a magical item to start with, Rod of the Packkeeper is a great option for warlocks everywhere.
Perfect. All right, so that's our 4 characters. I now know this. I did my DM video earlier today, so for those of you that watch that, you'll see I'm wearing the same shirt. And so I've set up this entire adventure without knowing what your guys' abilities are, so that's pretty cool. And the fact that you still have to pick magic items, I still don't. I can't design my adventure around you. So we'll see what happens in that regard. But for now, I know you guys have talked about it a little bit, but let's use the next couple minutes to flesh this out. How is this half-orc, satyr, hobgoblin, and feral tiefling, how did the 4 of you get together as a group, and how did you end up raiding the humans along the forest edge? And so if you guys pull up your map down here at the bottom, this takes place between Scorniabel and Burdusk, down there at the bottom. And there's probably a little trade route, and it's going to be close to where the forest edge is. And it's probably going to be right about here on the south part of that river, right where the forest trail skirts up against the forest edge. So after you're done there, it's going to then lead you into that forest. So, is there a leader among your group? How'd you guys get together? Discuss.
Well, kind of like it kind of mentions Arthas. He knew he wasn't the strongest, so he kind of used his words to twist and pull people together. Kind of be like, hey, we can do better than this. We've been looked down upon all our lives. Let's take back what's ours, and use kind of that hatred to fuel our escapades. You're muted, Manny.
Thoric is happy to be out of jail, so he's looking for any chance to make a little bit of money, make a name for himself with these newfound abilities that he's got himself with. So he was heading west from the mountains up there. And then he ended up coming upon this caravan. I wouldn't say he necessarily raided it, but he came up on it afterwards. So it's possible that he joined this group after their endeavors.
So after we, so
you
after
hit us up
we
for a
start-
brainstorming session when none of us are qualified, man.
So you're saying it's like after the initial opening action we did of raiding this caravan, you're just gonna walk up, be like,
Well, I'm just
"Hello?"
saying, like, oh, what's that burning smell over there? Oh man, that's man flesh. Blech. Just kidding. He's gonna eat it.
Manny.
Zrul just needed some lackeys, and he came on at an opportune time.
What are you trying to say, man?
So maybe Zrul, you put together this raiding party, and Zarthus was looking for money and joined it. You went after this caravan, and they managed to kill everybody but Zarthus. And maybe, Zur, you were along for the fun, too?
Yeah, sure.
I'd like to think that everyone in the party thinks they're the leader.
That could be amusing.
I
I like
so
that,
just like our
actually.
normal sessions.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
Yeah, there's clear lackeys who just hit stuff.
Although 4 players who think they're the leaders, I would not want to deal with the captioning of that video. But I like that. I think that's fun. If you guys like it, what do you think?
Yeah. Hobgoblins in nature usually do try to
So everything is everyone else's idea, and you all happen just to agree because you all think it's your own idea.
Well, I'm going after the money, and I knowing what this note is, I know that there's
go after
definitely
the
some-
money. That's
Well, I was also
I
going after
mentioned
the
to
money.
you. Yes, of course you did. I told you to.
Yeah, well, if you can fight me for it, I mean, that's why you're with me. I'm the muscle.
Well, if I kill you, then I gotta go find someone else.
Look,
How are
I
you gonna
promise
kill
you
me?
guys, you help me out with this, and I'm going to get you the money.
Gentlemen,
Let's go do this.
don't listen to the hairy, smelly woodsman. Okay, listen to me. I brought you all here today.
Oh yes, you did not bring
Yes.
us here. I would not be traveling.
Why do you think you started walking west if it was not for me to aid you?
Because I was sick of being in the mountains.
And what made you sick of being in the mountains? Me.
I was sick of being in jail. Imagine that.
And what made you sick of being in jail if not me? Everything you've done has led to me. Yes.
Perfect. I
Unfortunately,
like
that's
our
the truth.
pre-game RPing. Perfect. So good. Lean into that. Our neutral/evil campaign.
It's gonna be evil. My imp's gonna eat people.
Perfect.
Oh Lord.
So that is where we will head off to for episode 4. So thanks for watching, everybody, and join us for episode 4. And special at the end of episode 4 when we do our second shot video. For episode 5, we are going to be rolling stats, and we will do it on that video to see what we're going to do. Haven't decided if it's going to be straight old school numbers across the board or typical D&D, but we'll let the guys decide. Or
We could all do a different method.
that could lead for some crazy imbalance, but sure.
I mean, yeah.
so
I've
could the
always,
rolling too. Leads
I've
to
always
crazy
enjoyed
imbalances.
4d6 drop lowest.
That's
Yeah.
the 5e.
We'll figure it
Yeah.
out. So join us for that video, and thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.